Hello and welcome to the Penno podcast, where I'm joined with my bro to go through the match reaction to Aston Villa 2, Leicester 1 in the Premier League on the weekend. Before we start and getting into this one, if you could like, subscribe and drop a comment on your thoughts of the game and what we discuss in this. Bro, how you doing? How's your Sunday been? Liverpool Man U games are madness, wasn't it? Just before this. Real entertainment just before Sunday evening, and first day back at work for me tomorrow. So yeah, back to normal, back to life, back to reality, man.
It was a good game, wasn't it? To be fair, that second half, it reminded me of old school like Premier League games.
Yeah, you had that feeling in it of a proper heritage Man United Liverpool game. It did. It was a good game. End to end.
I think Liverpool as well. Like you can get at them. Like even we had chances when we went there. Like you can score at Anfield. I feel.
Yeah, innit? You can stick it on them. Yeah, they look fragile. Trent looked like he was off, man. But yeah, mad. So anyway, bro,
he's going Real Madrid, isn't it? Draco, Real Madrid bound.
It looks that way. It does look that way. Yeah, it looked like he didn't have nothing left. His head was gone. Well, yeah, let's get into this one, bro. 3:00 Saturday, facing a side who've been poor this season, newly promoted side. We'd already beaten them this away from home. So at the King Power, we won 2-1, being 2-0 up and allowing them to get a late consolation. And they did put a little bit of pressure on us in that game to try and equalise, but we held out. So this one, we're going into it very confident, going into this one saying it's a must-win game. If we have any aspirations of qualifying for European football this season, it was a must-win at home. Our home record, surprisingly, I think before that we were unbeaten in 9, which was very surprising because it does feel like around Villa at the moment it's kind of deflated at times, and you know the ambitions and expectations and the performances to go with that. But winning this game leads us to being unbeaten in 10 at home, which is mad, really, because you feel like we've lost more, but we haven't. It's just
it's because I think it's because the manner of the draws have felt like losses. Like Bournemouth feels like a bigger loss than games that we've actually lost, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Palace game, you drop points there, you think you really should beat them. So I understand why the feeling's a bit weird, even though we are unbeaten. But yeah, yesterday was massive. Like that was just must win by any means, really. So yeah, buzzing to get the 3 points, bro. And it's one of them where is forgettable a little bit, especially the first half, but getting the 3 points, we can move on and we have a nice little rest now till the next Premier League game.
Facts, bro. I'm gonna jump into the comments here. If you want to show them, bro. James says hi, Penno. Check your DMs. Oh, James is the transfer guy, so yeah, I'll check out that. I see. Let me know what you got in there. Have you got any stories, James? Let me know.
Michael says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Michael. Happy New Year to you, man. Engine 9. Don't know if you knew Andy. I don't recognise the name, but thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. He goes, good evening, boys. Up the fucking Villa. Yeah, up the Villa, man. I hope you're having a good evening. Kevin's in there. Thanks for joining. Kevin said, hi, guys. Matson is the difference. Pacing spades. Need to run the games now. Yeah, we'll get on to Matson's cameo and how he performed. Michael says, despite our poor form, we are 4 points off top 4. Exactly. The league is so tight, and again, it showed today. Fulham dropping points at home to Ipswich, and obviously United taking points off Liverpool as well. It's a tight lead. And Will's in the chat. Thanks for joining. Willie says up the Villa. So yeah, bro. Do you want to get into this one? Oh, more. Rod, thanks for joining. Rod, he said, sup Villa fam. Happy for Bailey and Barkley. Yeah, I rewatched the game. I think it was too harsh during the game. Unai's comments post-match kind of sobered me up. Yeah, that's a fair comment, I think. And I think you've watched it back, bro, haven't you? And you can attest to that. And James saying Marlon is pretty much done. Just some details been sorted out. Right back is getting closer. Then 2 more in if we can get them in up the Villa. Okay, we'll see if that's the case, James. I hope you're right. I do hope you're right. So anyway, bro, and Engine 9 says you two been hiding. I've been commented before. Like, yeah, apologies, man. Apologies. We have been hiding over this Christmas period. We went into hibernation, man. But we're back. did the preview, and yeah, the content will be coming thick and fast, man. We won't be missing a beat. So yeah, appreciate you supporting and watching for sure. Yeah, bro. As I said, you watched this back, haven't you? Since then, I've only really caught the highlights, the extended highlights of the game. So, do you want to start off? That first half, being at the game, it didn't really feel like there was anything to write home about. I mean, it was one of those turgid. The conditions were poor. It was cold, and yeah, the football kind of followed in the conditions. Man, it was very boring spectacle. Not too much happened for both sides either. One thing I did take away with it was I was impressed with Leicester's shape and how they set up. I mean, they really compacted the centre of the pitch. They really were in that 4-4-2 structure defensively. And I thought Harry Winks was getting into good positions in the middle, and Samara as well, and they were closing the spaces. And I think they nullified us and tried to make us attack from out wide. And when we have Cash and Digne as our fullbacks trying to get forward, especially with Digne, he's not the quickest. So if he's going to cross in the ball into the box, we've either got to create a lot of space for him, or he's going to cross it from deeper position. So I thought they really set up well in their shape, and they're counter pressing really well and trying to use especially Mavadidi and his pace to get in behind us on our right hand side.
Yeah, facts, bro. Just going into the lineup, what did you think of Barkley's inclusion over Onana? Did that surprise you? Was you expecting Onana maybe to start in midfield next to Kamara?
No, I think with the possession of Leicester and what we're trying to be as a club in terms of dominating the ball at home, I think it allows for Barkley to start over Onana. I think Onana's an additional body for defensive actions, whereas Barkley, you want him on the ball more. And Unai would have known that we were going to have a lot of the ball. And if you have an additional player who's better on the ball, Barkley's better on the ball than Onana for me, then yeah, I think that inclusion was justified, and I wasn't too surprised. I think it was surprising that JJ potentially didn't start because he did come on in the last game, but he must not have felt that he was quite up to it yet. And so Barkley starting wasn't a surprise.
Yeah,
all right, you in the lineup?
Probably was a little bit surprised to not see Maatsen start. I thought sometimes you just get the odd Premier League game against relegation base side, so I did think that would happen. I thought Onana would start as well. To be fair, I thought Onana would start, but yeah, that Barkley, when you think about it now, it does make sense. It does make a lot of sense when you got Kamara there already. Emery probably knew Leicester weren't going to go gonko in attack, and that's really what happened. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it weren't the best half, bro, was it? Let's be real. It was. It's for me, it's the worst half of football I've seen under Emery. I don't know how you feel.
Under Emery, I don't know. We've had a few poor halves. I think United was up there that first half as well. I think that was just as bad.
Yeah, but you got to take opposition as well into consideration.
What do you mean, bro? Leicester and United, there isn't too much of a difference. What are we doing here?
You're not just watching United then? I thought there was.
Not to the United we've seen today, yeah? I think that's a 1 game, 1 day out of 10 just because of playing Liverpool, man.
That was the worst half I think I've seen under. Maybe Brentford away, where they absolutely battered us that one time when it was 1-1. That's probably the only one I can think of that's as bad. But while it's not that we were conceding chances or anything. It was just more of we're at a stage now where teams are going to sit in their shape and allow us to have the ball, and we're going to spend most of the game in their half. And we just really struggled, didn't we? Moving the ball quickly enough to get through their lines and create chances. And as you said, their shape was really good. They kept a really good shape and they made us work for it. A lot of times we were trying to rotate the ball to our right-hand side with Cash and Bailey. They weren't really linking up. Then we were trying to move it down to the left with Dean and McGinn, and it wasn't really happening that side. They were really good in their shape, man. Hats off to them, man. They were good. But from a Villa perspective, it was frustrating because it's probably the most passes we've had in the first half all season. But it was pretty much just between Konza, Mings, and Cash, really, would you say?
Yeah, I'd agree.
And I think if you look at the stats, bro, underneath, 0.16 XG for Villa, I think that's probably the lowest we've probably had in a season in a first half. I just thought it was a case of profiles. Certain players you probably just need in those type of situations where you just know a team's gonna sit back, and they were happy to give the ball to our wide players, I felt, and they were happy to just sit for us. So yeah, it was a bit frustrating to watch.
Yeah, especially when it wasn't clicking for Bailey first half, was it? I mean, he had a number of areas where he got into good positions, and the final action wasn't there. McGinn wasn't really producing too much before he went off, and that's another huge blow for us, really. Another injury, having Powell get injured against Brighton, now having McGinn injured now, and it looks like it's going to be a hamstring injury and up to like 4 or 5 weeks, potentially going to miss both the Champions League games as well. It's a huge injury and a huge loss in terms of just the squad as well. We're getting very light at this moment. So yeah, with the change happening for JJ as well, I don't know what you thought with that, but I think JJ again, he's still trying to find his way into the side, just find his rhythm and momentum, and obviously being in and out of the team, it's going to take time for him to come back to that again, as it has done every time he's come back in and he started to show some signs of form, and he just got injured again. So yeah, I think we were really lacking within that. I think moving the ball was really slow and pedestrian. When we got the overlap or we had the width, we just kept cutting back. We just kept coming back inside, trying to play through, maybe trying to be too technical with that. I thought, and I mentioned to you throughout the game, I thought we really missed a trick by not playing longer at times. I thought when we did play long and Watkins had the opportunity to go one-on-one with the defenders, he was getting the better of them, and he was able to spin them, and it just meant we could push further up the pitch. And we started to do that a bit more second half, but I thought like, considering we were playing against Connor Cody at centre-back, I mean, Connor Cody's legs went about 5 years ago, and we didn't really put him under too much pressure. We didn't turn him enough. So that was one thing I thought we really lacked.
Well, we were making Vestergaard look like Van Dijk at times. And you think Vestergaard's one of the slowest guys in the league, and he was probably their best player yesterday. So that kind of sums it up, the performance. The one time we did actually get in behind, he came down our right hand side. I think it was Bailey. I think it was either Bailey or Cash that actually got in behind, and then they played the pass across, and we find Watkins, and it's a big chance, I think, because he kicks it into the defender. It's not like the defenders come across to like fully block and get in the way. It's like Watkins' shot has gone like he's got his head in wide, and then it's blocked, if that makes sense. Whereas if he maybe gets it on target, he has a better chance of scoring. But yeah, Watkins I thought was isolated for most of the game as well.
Yeah, he was.
We could not get the ball to him at all. And yeah, bro, I think second half just kind of showed, like we'll get into the second half in a minute, but I just think Maatsen probably from the start, if you know the opposition's not going to be that much of a threat and they're not really going to be that attacking, you need someone with a bit of pace probably to speed up play on that left-hand side. So I think Emery probably would have said, yeah, maybe start Maatsen that game. But yeah, Leicester didn't really threaten defensively. I thought we were fine defensively. They had that one chance where Al-Kanous ran into the box and he goes to like finesse it and it goes like miles over the bar. Like it's a terrible effort. But apart from that, Leicester worked it well. That one move that they did where they worked it to Mavadidi out wide and he crosses in and they get a corner. But yeah, apart from that, bro, they didn't create anything either. It was just a real 0-0 drab first half.
We've done well to talk about that first half for about 5 minutes because there was nothing going on whatsoever. We've really dragged that out. There's nothing much to talk about. So yeah, moving on to the second half, bro. Thoughts on the changes and when they happened and how that affected the momentum in the game. Obviously, we had McGinn going off and Ramsey coming on. What did you feel like Ramsey's performance was? Do you think he got into the game more as the game went on?
So Ramsey came on in the 90th minute. I think Emery said in his post-match he was not meant to play as much as he did yesterday. Yeah. So obviously it's needs must if McGinn goes off injured. I didn't think Ramsey did much yesterday. I don't think he had that much of an impact. It's understandable with the injury, but yeah, I just think Leicester's shape was so good. Like I remember one point in the first half, like he's received the ball back to goal and they've pressed him straight away and we lost the ball and there was no real options for him to pass to. And the biggest takeaway from that first half is Morgan Rogers' stock has gone up even more, in my opinion. Like, he was getting criticism a lot this season, and I just thought to myself, whilst he doesn't make the best decisions always, at least he's attempting to do stuff and attempting to beat a man and carry the ball upfield. So I can't wait to have him back for that Everton game, Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, he's been one of our best players in terms of attacking. He has been. He just has been. And whenever he's not playing, you notice it because, especially McGinn going off as well. The only real player who can progress the ball now is Ramsey. It's Jacob Ramsey, really, who was on that pitch after McGinn went off. We know McGinn can get on the ball, turn and press and like progress the ball, and obviously Rodgers is a progression monster. But is there anyone else really we have that can do that?
Maybe
it was good to see. It was good to see Ross Barkley do it in the second half. Remember, he went on that run initially, and he ran with the ball about 30 yards, which he really missed because Leicester was so set in their shape. They weren't anticipating anyone progressing with the ball. They've obviously identified that Morgan Rogers isn't playing, as well as McGinn's going off. So they were really stuck in their shape. And Barkley, one of the moments, he went against that and he drove with the ball at his feet and he opened. They parted because they weren't ready for it, and he had an opportunity there. So that was good to see from Ross Barkley. And yeah, Ross Barkley's in collusion, bro. And yeah, let's get into the momentum we gained and how we got that goal.
Yeah, I think the players must have got a bollocking at half time, bro, because we came out with more intent, I felt like. And there was like an energy in Villa Park second half where you can feel like, okay, we're pushing way more. We're getting better opportunities of goals coming. Like, I think we had like 1.4 XG in the second half. Like, we created so much more compared to that first half, bro. And yeah, I could feel the momentum in the stadium. Like, I think you could as well. And getting onto the goal, bro, I'm going to take 1% credit for it because in the stadium, I said, remember Ross Barkley's match winner against Leicester in lockdown, how we could need that today. And it didn't turn out to be a match winner in the end. But, bro, this is one of my favourite goals of the season. I don't know about you, but for the ball to come down, for him to control it the way he does, and he just laces it through
it's
the
true,
ball. And as soon as that hit leaves his foot, you know that's going in. Like, the keeper has no chance of saving that, bro. And Ross Barkley, man, like, big goals this season, man. Like the Palace game, Leipzig away, he scored. He's
Bournemouth.
Just producing, isn't it?
Bournemouth at home, he scored a header.
Well, yeah. He must be fuming that some of these goals ain't led to match winners. Like,
bro, I think I said every goal he scored, like, there's always been an equaliser. Like, it's just in the league, yeah. But in the league, every goal he scored at home, I think Leipzig's his only away goal, but that was in Champions League. But he's bagged the other ones at home, and they've always been equalisers, man. So it's nice that we went on to actually win a game. And yeah, the strike's so true. And it's nice to see Barkley, you know, reminiscent of old times, because obviously we signed him from Luton because of his position that he was playing and how he operated more as a sitting midfielder, a DM as such, but a ball playing one. But now we're seeing the attacking mid of Ross Barkley again. We saw at times a similar shape to Dean Smith in the defensive shape where we had the 4-4-2 and Ross Barkley was playing off Watkins. It was kind of reminiscent of that first half of the season in lockdown. And Barkley getting further forward and we all know he has the ability to shoot. He's had it since his Everton days when he's a top technician and it's a strike, man. It's an unbelievable strike, and as you knew when it's left his boots going in because the keeper ain't seeing that and he ain't saving it. Just brilliant.
That's the thing with Barkley. Like, quality never goes like that. Like, your actual ability, it's other things that might go, like your pace or like, I don't know, how quick you are over a yard or whatever. But like the quality to play football, he's always had, man. That's why he was such a big talent coming out of Everton at the time. And yeah, last season he was great at Luton. You could see like his technical ability. It's just sometimes with Barkley, it's just releasing the ball in it. Like, I feel like he's one of them players where you have to scream man on as a fan. Like, it's your duty. Relaxed. You have to scream man on to Barkley. Like, you have to, like Kamara or other players. Sometimes it's not as quick, but as soon as Barkley gets the ball and I see the guy coming, bro, I'm like, man, Barkley, wake up, like.
Bro. I think Barkley's had the most man-on shouts this season at Villa Park. I can't lie. I think he's had the most one because he plays with so nonchalantly, which is to his advantage at times. It's a skill and it's an art as well to play like that. But yeah, he gets on you and
he must be thinking, I preferred it when
pulls your heartstrings a bit. It does, innit? Because he can just play his game and
I won't get all it was Dean Smith saying it to me before, but now I got the whole and like screaming at me. But yeah,
No, it
bro,
looks like he's really appreciated. That's a good point because it's looked like he's obviously he bagged a few in that time, but this is obviously his first season playing as an Aston Villa player where fans have
yeah,
got to watch him play. So
it's
he's
nice. Yeah,
loving
it's
it.
nice.
He's making the
It's
most
nice.
of it, and he's showing what he can do. So the 5 million's looking like a snip, man. Can't lie.
Oh yeah, he's made up for it just by the goals already. Like you score
Yeah.
against Leipzig away in the Champions League, like you're pretty much halfway there, recovering that fee already after that, and then he's done more. So I like our midfield depth. I can't lie.
Yeah,
Like
he's
guys like
strong.
Onana struggling to start, man. Like this guy was the £50 million signing, but I'll be honest, man. I think Barkley's been better than him on the ball this season. Maybe Onana's way better off it, but I think on the ball, Barkley's been much better.
It's mad how the midfield and the depth, say about 3 seasons ago, that's where we were crying out for. And to be fair to Villa as a club, that's the area that they've really pinpointed and if anything, really strengthened. And probably left other areas lacking because they've concentrated so hard in that. But I do remember the calls many years ago for we need a centre midfielder, we need a unit, we need a ball player, and now we kind of have every attribute in the number of CMs that we do have. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice that we do have coverage in that area going forward for sure. So yeah, bro.
That was the game. Villa kept a clean sheet, and
you know it's never going to go like that, bro. I just want to get into a few comments. Duncan says, I don't know if that's coming off.
No, I'll pull it off.
Can you go Duncan's comment? Duncan Kilburn.
Which one, the Marlon or the Matson?
Perhaps a rest. 9:16. So comments are not working on my side.
Technical difficulties, isn't it? Go from this one, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, so Duncan says, evening all, good win, well done Barkley and Bailey. Watkins embarrassing his worst match for Villa. Wow. I disagree. I don't agree, Duncan. I think that's not true at all. But
fair enough. If that's your opinion, though, that's
yeah. Mark said, I'm annoyed about McGinn's injury. Him and Watkins also train without. Duncan said, Barkley always scores versus Leicester. Yeah, facts. James says, people forget Onana's just come back from injury. He played West Ham. He's needing more in West Ham.
Sorry.
For the physicality in the game versus Suchek. Yeah, that could be a shout that in the FA Cup game he starts that one. Kevin says, once Rams is up to speed, I reckon there's a good combination with Matson on the left if he's picked, of course. This is the thing with Rams in his combination play. I know we revisit it now and again, bro. We kind of romanticise, but you remember when Unai first came in and him and Moreno on that left-hand side and the play they were doing and the build-up and combinations. And you could just see like Matson's a bit more similar to Moreno than he is Luca Dean in terms of his attributes. And I think Matson can go on to be better than Alex Moreno ever was for us. So the combination play that him and Ramsey could have on the left-hand side could be glorious, man. So yeah, depends if Rodgers is playing there as well. But yeah, definitely can see that happening in the future. Duncan says time for Matson and Barkley to start. Marcus says annoyed with McGinn's injury. Yeah, both Watkins and McGinn. Is Watkins injured?
Don't think so.
No, I'm not too sure he is. I know Watkins has had the struggle, so hasn't he, since the Euros with his back problems and stuff. So I think that's what Mike's referring to. Kevin, we need fresh legs and pace. Matson and Ramsey provide that running power. Facts. Duncan, Marlon and Silva to soon sign. I hope so. That would be, especially Silva as well, getting him in. That would be a really good window to start, man. Engine says, can't wait to see Duran back for the long balls. Yeah, I think Duran would have bagged as well yesterday if he was playing. Duncan says perhaps the rest will help Rodgers and Duran, to be fair. Yeah, I agree with that. Will says Barkley's captain material. I like his reliability and consistency. I could very well see that at some point. I mean, potentially now with McGinn out, I don't know who was on the armband yesterday when McGinn went off. Was it Tillemans or was it Emmy? Yeah, it's probably Emmy.
The problem with goalkeeper captains is you need someone on the pitch to be able to get around the ref and it to talk to him. So
is Ming still vice?
I think they have like four different ones. I think Carlos is one of them.
I was just going to say Diego Carlos part of that leadership group. In fact, he is, and I remember that. So yeah, I think potentially it'd be Mings now, just because he'll be playing the majority of games going forward. And also said Barkley's going to be bargaining the season in the Prem. I hope so, and he's going a good way to be in that for sure. Paul joined. Thanks for joining. Paul says, hi, Penno and Adam. Happy with the win. Bailey at last. Big boost now for the future. Now Rogers, Duran coming back soon will be great. Matson has pace. He does indeed. And yeah, fair comment that is, Paul.
Yeah, bro. So Villa went 1-0 up, and then 5 minutes, man. 5 minutes we concede. Now this goal, I think it's so avoidable. I think it's one of the most avoidable goals we've had all season, and I'll tell you why. The pass from Watkins, it's bad, isn't it? Like the pass from Watkins is bad. It's short. But after that, bro, they're in their own half still, where they take the ball. Like they're not outside of our box. Watkins hasn't just passed it for like a one-on-one. Like there's still time to like recover. And by the time their player gets to the byline, bro, I think it's Jordan Ayew, and Mings gives him quite a lot of space as well. When Ayew's attacking the box, there's a lot of yards in between. Probably should have got closer. But even then still, bro, as the ball goes across, we've got like 5 players back. We got 5 players back. And I love Kamara, but I'm going to have to call him out, bro. Like, he lets Vardy just run off him. He, like, completely loses Vardy. He's not paying any attention. He looks as well. He glances, he looks, he sees him, and then he thinks it's okay. Vardy just sprints, gets in front of him. It's a great save by Martinez. But then no one's just getting to Mavidi just there free, and Cash tries to close down. He goes under his legs. And, bro, that's their first big chance of the game. Is it their first shot on target again as well? Another one?
No, Alcanis got one in the first half. He P-rolled onto Martinez. I did cut that because I was thinking about that stat, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't. I think it was their second, though. Or, it would have been third, wouldn't it? Because Vardy had the second.
So it's Watkins' poor pass. It's Mings not closing down Ayew. It's Kamara letting Vardy run off him. And it's Cash losing Mavidi at the back. That's 4 separate... That's 4 separate. I think
the big ones it's Watkins and Kamara for me. I think Watkins undersells Mings and puts him in a precarious position. It's kind of difficult to get back at that point. He could do better, but I think Watkins has undersold him there with the pass is poor in it.
Yeah,
Watkins. Watkins is big blame for the pass initially, and then Mings has tried to get back, and I think he could do better, but he's already been put in a difficult situation. We've seen Mings' recovery in other aspects. I think he had a massive recovery in another incident as well. So I think it's a bit harsh on his positioning there, because I think the pass just does him. He kills him.
Yeah, I agree.
But then Kamara definitely. I think that in the box, definitely Kamara. And I've seen Cash copping blame. I don't think Cash can cop blame for that. Like, I think it's whoever should have been picking up Vardy initially cops the most blame, who let him run off, because he shouldn't be able to get the shot off when there's 4 men in the box. In the closing down of Mavidi at that point, it's much of a just because Martinez has made an exceptional save. So yeah, I think Watkins and Kamara for me.
And yeah, bro. So 63 minutes, they're back in it, and it's just like, oh, Villa, like we got to just do that again. Like we'd watched the game for nearly 60 minutes of us struggling to score, and then we finally get the breakthrough through Barkley, and then you just like, okay, we got to do this again. So yeah, frustrating, man. But 76 minutes, finally, after begging it in the crowd, bro, Ian Matson comes on at left back, and then Ross Barkley's taken off as well for Buendia, so that's quite an attacking sub. Tillemans drops back into centre midfield. And yeah, bro, literally less than a minute after these substitutions, Villa start pressing with intent. Justin, he has an error, doesn't he, really?
Before you get to that, bro, and you've made a great point there in saying pressing with intent, we discussed this and said at the game, did we show teams too much respect at times?
It's Emmy's goal, I think. It's just...
Yeah, of course it is, but
it's
just something. Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know because obviously these have more information than us, and we're fans.
Of course,
we only assume it. So maybe our running stats are showing that we need to conserve energy, and we don't want to get fatigued for the Champions League and our injuries right now. But it just feels like if we pressed Leicester more aggressive and actually tried to win the ball high. Bro, Connor Cody and Westergaard, like, come on, man, that's a challenge.
And even when Wout Vassen, the other centre back, came on as well, it's just like could have crippled them. And I think as you were going to say, we did start impressing intensely, and look what happened when we did. We turned over the ball and scored, I think. But yeah, that was one thing we picked up on, is just the press. And do we just give these sides who are like relegation fodder as such too much respect when playing at them? Yeah. Do we do the same with Southampton?
I understand what Emmy's trying to do. He's trying to get our players to cover shadow and block off the pass behind and force an error that way without having to use up energy to like make the tackles. But I think, come on, man, like balance it up a little bit. Like we do it every single time.
Yeah,
we do it every single time, and I'm not going to get onto the shape too much because Leicester didn't create anything in the first half and we were doing it.
Facts.
But yeah, I'd just like to see a bit of variation, and we did see, to be fair, because as soon as Maatsen came on, we were more aggressive. I think Justin.
We won from the press.
Justin plays the pass. Ayew kind of hesitates, and Maatsen gets in front of him. Bro, the 1-2 is beautiful. Like Ramsey, when he has someone that's a lot more aggressive and that can use their pace, we see straight away quick pass. Maatsen makes the run into the box, looks up. He doesn't just hit it, which is a criticism of some of our other players. I feel like sometimes they'll just hit it and hope, and it's just like it's a good ball no matter what happens. He looks up, he takes his time, he sees Bailey making a run, which was mad because Watkins is in Bailey's position and Bailey's the one that comes across to get on the end of it. And this is, if there was one player I wanted to score a match winner and I could choose before the game, it's Leon Bailey, because confidence-wise, he needed that goal so much.
Bad. He needed it bad, man.
It's
a big goal for Leon Bailey, bro, and you go and say it.
I wish we had the pictures up, bro. I didn't get the picture up, but the relief.
I've never seen so much relief on a man's face. Bro, I've seen someone said it looked like he beat a case. Someone said it's the Darnell Marlin effect. He's heard the rumours. The relief on the face of when he's celebrating is mad.
Well, it is for me as well. Just like Watkins and Maatsen just resting their head on him, just like, yes, man, we prayed for this. Like, we told you it was gonna happen, bro.
It's a good run, man. It's a good run. It's a fantastic goal, and it's the build-up's great. And as we spoke about, bro, Ramsey with a pacier fullback operating in those areas, those 1-2 combinations, we can kill teams with them, and that's what we did there. We killed Leicester. And the decision making for Maatsen, we know Digne isn't quite a byline fullback like that. He'll usually, cross. He's an excellent crosser at times. He'll cross from a deeper position. But Maatsen getting in, it means the cutbacks, and Unai Emery and the cutbacks that's his game model, man. He loves that. So to see that goal and the movement from Bailey near post, it was a brilliant goal, man.
And yeah. For me, bro, like this isn't even just outcome bias of the game. Like, it's been my opinion probably for most of the season. Like, I just think Maatsen has to get some starts now. And my reason why is, if you look at like the profiles of fullbacks in the league, you have guys like Kirkes at Bournemouth, Lewis Hall at Newcastle. These are all like younger, faster, more technically gifted guys that like to like link up more, I'd say. Whereas Dean, he's more of like a deeper stand and crosser with time, and he'll put a good ball in more often than not, and he's good off set pieces. Maatsen, though, he's more dynamic. Like, he'll get in behind, he can run into the box, and I prefer cutbacks, like you said, to crosses. I think cutbacks where you can look up and the guy can run onto the ball, especially with our players. I don't feel like our players head the ball like that. Like Watkins maybe, and Duran, but outside of that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be giving Morgan Rogers or Bailey a cutback than a header. To
counter that, bro, what about their defensive actions? Do you think there's a drop off in terms of if Maatsen starts in the defensive actions? Do we get caught out of position more in that?
I think it's opposition based. I think it's opposition based, definitely. But I think with teams like Leicester and our one coming up now, even Everton, I'll just be like, Everton are going to sit in their block, get Maatsen starting, get Maatsen in behind, like use him that way. So yeah. Maatsen does have weaknesses, like his aerial duels aren't as good as Luka Dean's. Like, I can admit that. Like, he's not this flawless guy, and I don't think he's been incredible this season. Also, Maatsen, like, I don't think it's been like, I just think
it hasn't been like that, for sure.
Yeah, I just think it's a case of profile. It's not about play; it's about the profile in it. What does this player bring, and what does this player bring? And when you're struggling, like Villa have creatively as well, like just play your guys for me. Just play your guys that can get in behind and. Yeah, it's a massive moment, I think, for Villa's season.
It is.
For Maatsen to get the assist, Bailey to get the goal, like,
and Ramsey to be involved in the build-up like that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's three players who needed big moments, and they've all had a big contribution in winning us that game. So yeah, it really could be season-defining and a game changer for those three players in particular, going forward.
And then bro, we wasn't done then. we could have got through. We could have got through. Now, me and you had a bit of a debate on this chance, innit, about whose miss was worse. But let's get into the Bailey. Do you remember who played the pass to him?
Was it Cash?
Was it Cash that played the pass to Bailey? Someone was running in centrally and they played might have been Cash.
Was it Cash? I think it was Cash.
Yeah. But Bailey, with the confidence of the goal, runs to the goal with intent, smacks it off the bar, bro. That was reminiscent of Bailey last season, wasn't it? Where like the shift in confidence is crazy, bro. Like just because he scored. Like football's all about margins, and he smacks it off the bar.
Well, that's not the first time he's done that this season. He smacked another one. Was it Palace? True. Smacked it right foot as well. Smacked it off the bar as well. So like, yeah, he's been getting closer with his right foot than his left this season. That's madness. So yeah, hopefully that's just confidence now, and he can kick on in it. But yeah, that was a strike. And then
if that goes in, then Bailey really is back. Like if you get the praise there, like and then this is the part after like.
Both of them.
Is it 4-2 Ramsey? Is it Ramsey that plays it inside to Buendia?
Yeah.
Now this is you're saying this is awful from Buendia, right?
I think we discussed it, and then I think I agreed that Watkins is just as bad. But I think Watkins is getting all the heat here, and Buendia is getting away lightly, because when the ball comes across to Buendia, instead of letting it come across his body and just hitting it, he tries to side foot it, come across the ball and side foot it into the ground, and it like bounces and then hits the defender. He has so much time, there's no one around him, and he just tries. I don't know why he's tried to position himself like that instead of just letting the ball roll across and striking the ball properly. Or he could even curve it into the other corner. He runs towards the ball and kind of tries to hit it with his instep. Just weird technique, man. And then obviously when that bounces off the defender and falls to Watkins, he swivels on his left foot and smashes it over the bar. So yeah, both horrendous misses, to be honest. Both horrendous misses, and both should have scored. Buendia should have scored first, and Watkins should have definitely scored second.
Yeah, I feel the Watkins one's bad because you just think, because it's cumulative, and it after Brighton game as well at the end and how that went.
Watkins same sort of area, left foot, isn't it, over the bar? Same sort of thing. The Brighton and that one are almost identical, aren't they? In terms of his left foot and over the bar. So yeah. And again, Watkins discussion, bro, and the discourse, I think you're never allowed to have two good strikers and there not be a discussion around it. Don't you think? I don't think you can never just be like settled. There's in any fan base, in any club, there's always going to be discussions about the strikers just because they're the goal getters. And if one shows any form of weakness or lacking of goals or assists or whatever, there's going to be discussion for the other one to come straight back in the team. And I think Duran, when he's back, thoroughly deserves to come back in the starting lineup for sure. But let's just not forget how good Ollie Watkins is, man.
Yeah, he's fierce. But I will say though, like as someone that is a big Ollie Watkins fan, I think on eye test there has been a drop off from last season.
That can be great.
His goal scoring similar, but I think like just actual game, there's certain things that I see in it, whether it's confidence, whether he's still carrying that injury from earlier in the season that Emery's mentioned. But yeah, I think there has been a drop off, and with the way Duran's been performing, I get it. Fans like stuff to talk about. Like we like stuff to talk about. We like the debate of it. And
if there's nothing to talk about, just switch this off, man, and see you later. Do you know what I mean? Your faction, your banger.
Yeah, like I don't think we've really been here before where we've got like two strikers that are just sick. Like it's an unfamiliar territory. It feels like in my Villa experience anyway. Like before, it was what we'd have Benteke, we'd have Tammy Abraham, but they were all their own guy at the time. We have Watkins now, but then Duran's here. Like for them to be like 3 seasons in now, like going up against each other.
And the thing is, it's not comparable. It's not comparable to Watkins and Ings because they were both shit at the time. Whereas in that Gerrard system, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like they were both Catman, but now Watkins and Duran. Watkins goes a couple of games without a goal, and yeah, it's not looking good, bro, because Duran ain't going games without a goal.
I think the fan base has tasted caviar with Duran. I think we've been. It's just like Watkins, we love you, but Duran, you just showed us a new way where it's just like, whoa, like this guy can just lick it from 40 yards and we can just celebrate the goal going.
And to be honest, the numbers aren't too indifferent in that sense. The actual numbers aren't too indifferent in terms of their XG and that. It's not too dissimilar, and the big chances missed. But Duran, you just feel like he'll not only will he take more, you feel like he'll create more out of nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've witnessed it. He'll just do the extraordinary out of nowhere.
And I wouldn't blame that.
I don't think Watkins
that much because it's just
nah,
more
it's different.
System, yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
Duran and Vardy have been kind of carrying the system in that sense a little bit, where we are lacking creatively. Like Duran's just like his performance against Man City is just absolute joy. Like for a striker, it's just so complete. So yeah, let's hope Duran's ban don't get extended. Like for kicking a water bottle, that's absolute bullshit. That is, man. Like
he should get a fine. I saw Unai got a fine for it, so surely it's a fine, man. It's just a slap on the wrist. 3 games is enough. They're taking a piss, man, if they give you more. But yeah. So yeah, what do you think of Buendia's cameo? You having it?
Oh, just seen a rumour, bro. Villa are interested in Oscar Mingueza, right back from Celta Vigo. Really good player.
Was that the one you're talking about?
That's the boy. This is the one that I've been asking for. so I just had to get that on the pod. If that's true, my lord, like that is good news. So yeah, hopefully that'll be brilliant.
Monchi, get it done. Get it done. So yeah, but I was just going to say, Buendia's cameo. Thoughts on that?
He was energetic. I'll say that. He lacked quality, but he was energetic.
Yeah, he did. He lacked quality. He had a few decent shots. Well, no, he had one poor shot and he had one decent effort with his left foot, which I said was at a similar range to when we lost to him 4-2 when he hit the bar and Watkins scored off that. But yeah, he lost the ball a few times. It's just a typical Emmy performance. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, you try one thing won't come off, but a couple of times you'll lose the ball. But he was getting around the pitch as well, and I think he gave us an extra bit of energy. To be honest, I did think he did do that for sure because he was trying to get about and influence the game where he could. So yeah, bro. I think at that point it was fairly comfortable when there's not really a scare as such. I think the standard. What we've had, giving away easy set piece and them trying to put one in the box, but apart from that, nothing really to worry about. And we get the 3 points, man, and that was big. That was so big to just get that because it keeps you in the pack. You see other teams dropping points, and if you get on some run, you really can just climb this table, man. If you get on 3-4 game win streak, we just look what Newcastle are doing and where they are. Newcastle were 12th a few weeks ago, and now they're what? The 4th, nearly 3rd.
I felt the energy leaving the stadium as well. Like the fans were buzzing off that, especially I think it was the Bailey goal. This fans was buzzing off Bailey finally getting his goal, and
I think
how it felt at half time. Like half time, like it was
bro,
I came out my house for this. Like that's how it felt. But leaving the
stadium,
like
it, bro.
People are on a high, so that's good.
People are, it felt. It was mad. It was mad. It was like it was saying it was like the conditions, man. Bleak. It felt bleak. But we got through it. I think everyone can recognise that it wasn't the best performance, but obviously getting the points was just huge, man. Just huge, and continuing on. Being 10 games unbeaten at home, that's a nice record to keep going. And just building some momentum now. Can we just get a little streak going? Because it'll just put us in a fantastic position if we can.
Man of the match?
I did say Mings at the game. I thought Mings had a good game, man. But I thought you do notice, obviously, at times his ball playing isn't to the level of Powers. But with that, he can still play, and I think he was solid at the back. It was, again, if anything really came into the box and he was in the box, there wasn't no cause for concern. I think what's impressive with Mings is his recovery pace seems to still be there. Like he doesn't look any slower to me currently of the games he started. If you're talking about Palace at home, if you're talking in the cup, if you're talking about this game and the other games and Brentford as well. Like he doesn't look like he's been out for 12 months, does it?
Yeah,
he's really, which is really good. He doesn't look like he's lost a step either, which is mad. So, but big up Mings, man. So yeah, I think Mings was for me. Shout out to Ross Barkley, obviously, and his influence on the game as well. But yeah, I don't know about you.
I'll give it Barkley. I think I'll give it Barkley. I like Barkley's performance.
Yeah,
I think he gave it away once all game, and then you get the goal as well. Like, yeah, I'll give it Barkley. Do you want to just get into the comments before I'll just go through the comments before we move on? I'm still buzzing off that Mingueza link. I can't like that would be brilliant. It's not the best source in it, but like, you know what I mean. Take anything at this point.
Is that how you going? You feeding us? We'll take anything.
Yeah, this is my rules when it's a player that I like. When it's a player I don't like, I'm just like, that's the worst source ever.
Yeah, just proper. Yeah. Kevin says big run of games now for Maatsen, surely. Yeah, I think he'll get more game time for sure going forward now. Paul says, guys, in a few years, these are the players Emery will sell. Barkley, Digne, Cash, Mings, Carlos, Jaden. There'd be big names, better quality players. I think, all those will go just because of age and profile and salary. And I think there might be one or two shocks in as well, just because of how we have to operate. So I'm at the point where I'm sentimentality. I just can't do it, man. Just in the current climate and that. I think there's obviously some sales that I would hate to see. And I think we all know who those players are, but I'm not holding that. I don't know how your thought process is with that, bro.
Yeah, I'm similar to you, bro.
Yeah. Kevin says, Dean, you can always replace him 50 minutes after shows up. Yeah, facts. Engine says, Maatsen and Mings good together, but Powell and Maatsen don't work. Powell not strong enough to cover him. Fair point. That may well be the case, and yeah, that's a real fair point. Paul says Buendia was looking good, guys. I think I've changed my mind about him. He can get back. Fair enough, Paul. Paul says, like, guys, Maguire's missed against Liverpool's worse.
Yeah, you know what? I'm putting that on Xerxes, you know.
I think the ball was horrible when it.
I think it's the right decision to pass, but yeah, it's a horrible pass, man. Like,
it's horror. I think that Ahmad chance might have been easier than Maguire's first half, because I think Dallow's ball was perfect. Ahmad mistimed his run.
Oh, when he was the defensive header?
The header, yeah. I think that was more of a sitter. Duncan says Saunders and Atkinson last series strike partners. Yeah, fair enough. That's before our time, innit? And he says no Gabby and Big John Carew. Gabby and Big John, is that fair? Are Gabby and Big John anywhere near Watkins and Duran? I don't think they are.
Duran's a passport for them, I'm sorry.
And Watkins, for definite.
Yeah, Watkins is a no-brainer, bro. Like, Watkins is the easiest to passport.
I think people get, like, I was having this discussion. I think people don't understand how many goals Watkins has scored and how many. He's had double-digit seasons, 4 seasons in a row. And, like, if you look at some of the big strikers and names and profiles, someone was naming Defoe's, Robbie Keane's, Berbatov's, Balotelli's, Edin Dzeko's. Watkins, on average, has scored more goals than these strikers. He's equaled their second season with his second seasons, or got more. And their top seasons, he scored more goals. And I think only Berbatov had one season with 20. Defoe's highest was 18. Robbie Keane's, I think, was 16 or something like that. Watkins got 19 last year, and then he's had 14 and 15 to follow that, and then an 11. So he's underrated, man. He always will be. But
Watkins is so much better than a Bangla. I'm sorry. Like, I don't.
Oh yeah, he's another level to Gabriel. Paul says, "What is that? If we had Watkins, Rodgers, Duran, Moani, and Guy from Dortmund, that'd be unbelievable level of depth, and that'd be a madness." But I don't think that can happen. No,
you wouldn't need all of them guys. Like, just think about trying to like satisfy all of them. You just work out worse for Villa. Like, you wouldn't want. I don't want Mognani, bro. I don't want like the Kolo Mognani links. Like, obviously the source aren't good, but that's what kind. No, man.
26 as well. 26.
Similar to Watkins. Like, come on, Villa. Let's learn some lessons here, isn't it? Like, no. The Duran signing for Watkins was perfect. The way that's worked out. That was logic. You bring in someone raw, you give them time behind the guy, and then over seasons, you take the next step. And logically and economically, for me, is when you move Watkins on, and then you make Duran the starter, and then Duran has seasons, and you bring in a new guy. That's how it's supposed to work, isn't it? Like,
do you think there's anything behind the stories, though? And if there was, do you think Duran would push for the move?
Bro, with Munchie, I don't. You can never like talent it. Like, I just don't know. I thought
you're still thinking about the Roma times.
No, I don't rate Munchie, bro. I say I don't rate him. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
To be fair, when he was going to Juve and I was seeing the Douglas Luiz things, I didn't believe that either at the time when that happened. So no,
and that happened. Yeah.
No,
anything can happen, innit?
Would Duran push for the move? Would Duran's agents? Probably the better question, isn't it? Yes, probably.
Yeah,
Even his quotes in the past, yes, but we'll see, innit?
Yeah.
Donker says, "Go play him."
Duncan agreeing with you, bro. Duncan's not having that Watkins mix, man. Fair enough. Rod says, Bundy annoyed me. He kept moving right next to our players when they had the ball. He did it with cash near the end. We then lost possession as Bundy was out of position, annoying. Yeah, I think Bundy was just trying to be busy, man, because obviously he's limited minutes. He wants to make an impression. That's how I see it anyway. But I do think he was poor on the ball when he did have it at times yesterday. And yeah, he was getting into people's ways. But I think he's trying to overdo it just because, Bundy is fully committed to the cause, man. He's never not shown he hasn't got the heart in it. I think that you can definitely not accuse him of having that. It's just sometimes on the ball and his positioning.
Yeah, I agree.
And you go man of the match. Barkley had 99% accuracy, pass accuracy in goal. Yeah, fair. And Kevin says Kamara class again. Yeah, Kamara's just that player. I think, as we said, bro, for the goal, I think he could have been there in the position, but apart from that, he did quality games always. Would be a proper right back at last with Mings and Minguez. Is that what you're saying? Mingiza. Mingiza.
Madness.
Mad. James going in early. Moani's off to Tottenham. We'll see how that develops. And Rod saying Maatsen is my dark horse to score a Champions League winning goal. Champions League winning goal for. Hold on, go back to that. For what round we talking? We talking final, semi, quarters, Celtic. Yeah, what we talking, Brad? Because I like your style. If you're talking final, I like your style. Okay, it says, why would anyone go to Spursy? Fair point. I agree. James also saying Luis pushed for Juve deal. He rejected 5 contract offers. Yeah, we did. That was true. Munchie's Unai's best mate. Yeah,
I can see how we got the job, bro. You gotta think though, with Munchie, you gotta think, bro. Think about it like this, isn't it? Munchie, was the third choice.
No facts. He was
for being a for being a Spanish director, innit? So not third choice out of any not third choice out of any director with any nationality in the world. No, Emery's third choice Spanish director, because he wanted a Spanish director of football for communication, and he wanted.
Well, we all know Alemany, and then he went back to.
He wanted the guy from Real Sociedad.
Betis. Was it Betis? Was it?
No, Real Sociedad. He wanted what's his name? I forgot. I thought these names were. It begins with an O. He wanted him, and then he settled on Munchie, and it. So I think that kind of says it all.
But then, do you think that was just because of availability, though? Because Munchie hadn't said he was leaving Sevilla at the time, and potentially because remember how mad that deal was, and
he settled. He had to settle, bro.
But do you remember how mad that was? Maybe at the time they didn't foresee that, so he was further down because he had to clock if he could actually get out of Sevilla. I don't know. I'm putting it out in the atmosphere. I'm just giving a point to your point to see if there was reason behind that. But I hear it.
He wanted to leave, and then they had to pay Sevilla
and sanction everything. Yeah. But yeah, we'll discuss that, bro. We'll do a video on Munchie's time so far and the transfers we've done. Maybe at the end of this window, and we'll look into that further and see what your guys' thoughts of that as well. Paul says, who do we replace McGinn with? What do you think, bro? How do we go about that now?
Ramsey probably starts on it.
Oh, Rodgers to come back?
Yeah, I think you go Tielemans, Rodgers 10, Ramsey left.
Oh, so you drop Barkley and no Onana either?
Yeah, you probably got Kamara Tielemans for the Everton game, yeah.
Okay.
Or you can play Rodgers or you can play Rodgers and then put Onana just for the plot in it. Onana for the plot.
Yeah. No, I like that though. That's fairly attacking and forward thinking. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think Onana plays West Ham though, for sure. For when we're in the final, Rod. Yeah, I like it. Paul says, I think Aston Villa will be a shock in the Champions League, can go all the way. I think we will be a shot for sure. We've shown that already. And Kevin says Giovanni's winning the Champions League final. Trust me. Yeah, I like this, man. Got some positive people in here. Keep it coming. And Rod saying, so it's decided we win the Champions League. Mats and Duran goal sorted, manifesting. Yeah, we're there with you, Rod. And Paul said, I would love it if Watkins scores a hat-trick in the Champions League final. So win 5-0. Duran, Matson and Watkins hat-trick. And Duncan saying, I'd play Barkley versus Everton, fair chance.
He will score off the bench, yeah. Barkley, remember that one goal where
you're flying through this man. Man's eyes aren't that good. Fair chance he'll score again. So would you go Barkley and Onana?
Nah, I'd probably
the ex-Everton.
Probably bring Barkley on just for the plot. Jesus Christ, we could have Dean, Onana, Barkley. Bro, how many Everton men that we got against Ari Boonham, Ashley Young, and Idrissa Gana Gueye? Like, what's going on?
Think of the transfer fees Everton have commanded from them for those 3 players. Mad, isn't it? Over 100 million. That might be their 3 biggest sales over the last decade, 2 decades maybe.
I'm sorry, I actually agree with this, Duncan. I think he'd bully him. He bullied him. Yeah. Duran would leave that pitch at the Bernabeu and their fans would be begging Perez to sign him after that game. I'm convinced.
I think they both would, bro. Let's not forget Watkins was bullying Bayern as well. I think both our strikers are absolute monsters, man. Like, okay, Watkins finishing might not be the same, but his general play is still good. Let's not do that. He did something good yesterday. We spun the defender and got into a good position and played the right pass. I think both of them are. And I think Duran, where he was really underrated with his hold-up play, everyone's realising now how good his actual all-round game actually is. Where he was really underrated at the start of the season. So, yeah, we have 2 good strikers, bro.
I love the podcast. Ending it on Villa would bully Real Madrid at the Bernabeu.
And Will's commenters are saying Duran loves the big stage. He does, man. He's a big game, right? Big nights player. He is.
I think Duran's season this season, it's kind of been like, okay, he's good off the bench. Okay, showing a bit more. You know what? Let's just start him in these big games against Man City. Shows it. Then it's almost just like, man, where would we be if we maybe started him earlier in the season?
Can't drop him. And facts. Or it's like, he's not there now. We might struggle. It's mad. The trajectory. Let's not forget the trajectory that some of the fan base have. We have to sell him. Don't forget that bit as well in January and in the summer window. Yeah, well, it's gone from one window. It's gone get rid to now.
I can only speak for myself. I can only speak for myself.
We have eyes, bro. We saw some. So we have eyes. Let's not get it twisted. Sharik says Dortmund want Matson on loan. Hope it won't happen, but for some reason Emery doesn't seem to like him that much, considering how much he used to change Moreno and Digne. I don't think that happens, man. I don't. Maybe it does, Sharik, but I'd be disappointed if we did that. I'd be really disappointed. I don't. What's your thoughts?
With what, loaning Matson?
Yeah. What the comment says.
No thanks. Off of that performance, Dortmund can move Dortmund, man. After their admin in pre-season uploaded Matson getting skinned on Insta, it went viral. Boy, it went millions of views. I was like, you don't deserve Matson after that, man. Like, move.
Shameless, isn't it, man? And then we'll start posting if Marlon comes, the Marlon Matson photos and that. They have to do that stuff on Marlon signs for sure if he does. Rod says, love the optimism deserved. I think we have all been a bit down. We have a great squad with depth and superb managers. So happy. Facts, Rod, we're still in this Champions League. We've got the FA Cup to come. Good position in the league still. Come on, we've got to be positive. It's 2025. It's a new year. We've got to be positive, man. We've got to. Anyway, bro, anything you want to add? You touched an hour, man.
You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking forward to the team news versus West Ham because I've got no idea. Normally I'll have a guess in it. I've got no idea what team we're playing against West Ham because Devan's still out. McGinn's going to be out. And then it's a rotation issue, isn't it? We'll see if Carlos and Philogene are back then. Philogene might have even gone on loan by then. So I'm baffled, bro. Does Ben Broggio, Jamal get get a chance. Like Jamal in the squad, bro, massive news as well against That's huge. Like Jamal getting, was that his first Premier League squad? Feels like
I don't think so. I think he was in one early in the season. He was on the bench.
He was against Palace. He was in the squad against Palace in the League Cup. I know that he started in the League.
Yeah,
Cup.
no, I think he was on the bench for another Prem game.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm sure he was early on in the season. I do remember his name being on there, but he came on against Palace, didn't he, in the second half when brought, I think, him, Caden Young, and someone else on.
Yeah. But yeah, boy, nothing much to say. Just, guys, thank you for joining us as always, man. We appreciate talking about Villa with you guys. We love the questions. We love the enthusiasm, man. And if you could like the video, if you haven't already, if you could subscribe, if you haven't already as well, we'd appreciate that. And yeah, just share the channel with any Villa
share
fans
it around, man.
Non-Villa fans, share it with them as well. We talk about other teams as well. We try and give opposition breakdowns on our previews as well, and then we try and talk about.
Yeah, but if you share the channel with anyone, and then big up if you share it to Villa fans as well, man. Just
we're trying to get to 1,000, and we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us on this Sunday evening. I hope you have a lovely evening. Everyone back to work, or they've already been back to work, or have the kids going back to school. Just enjoy the rest of the evening. Just enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Bro, thanks for joining us always. And up the Villa, and see you on the preview for the West Ham game.